What's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I filmed a golden smoky eye holiday inspired tutorial, perfect for Christmas, New Year's, or if you have any work parties coming up and you want to impress your friends and look all glam. You know when you're like doing a makeup look or you're doing something and it's like not coming out how you envisioned it at all? I was like getting frustrated because I kept like messing up and I was like, oh, like I don't know if I like how this is coming out, like let's just scrap the whole thing. And then in the end I ended up loving it. So yeah, I'm just gonna shut up now and get right into the tutorial. So I'm starting off by priming my eyes with the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer, and I'm just putting a little drop of that on a Morphe M421 brush. Trust me, a little bit of this goes a long way. I'm just going to spread the product onto my lid, focusing it mostly in the center, and then patting it on to create a nice even base for the eyeshadow to stick to. And once there's just a little bit of primer left on the brush, I go ahead and I carve out my brows and I just pat it along the perimeter of my eye just so it's not so bright white. I'm going to be using one of my new favorites today, the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde Eyeshadow Palette. So I'm going to start off by grabbing the shade Crash, and I thought it was going to be more of a brown undertone color, but it ended up being more purple. I've realized that this palette is definitely more cool tone, so definitely be aware of that. Just going to be taking that on a PC35 fluffy crease brush, but it's more of a flat crease brush, and it makes it easier to pack on the pigment and blend it out. And I didn't set my eyeshadow base because I want maximum color payoff, so I'm just going in with tapping motions to really press on the pigment. If you go right in and start trying to blend, you may crease your eyeshadow base and make it look all funky. And you definitely don't want that. And I'm using this color as my transition shade, so I'm just focusing it throughout my entire crease. So I'm just taking a Morphe M452 fluffy crease brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend out that transition shade and make everything look nice and smooth. And the best way to describe to you how to blend out your eyeshadow, for me personally, I just use little circular motions and windshield wiper motions. So I basically just make tiny circles, but I'm also going back and forth. So since that first shade wasn't quite brown enough for me, I'm going to go into my ABH Carly Bible palette and grab that dark brown shade Bowie just to darken up my crease a little bit. Using that same fluffy crease brush, the Morphe M452, and I'm just deepening up my crease a little bit. I don't want to completely cover up my first transition shade, I just want to darken it up and make it a little bit warmer. So I just dipped into that shade Bowie for a second time, and I always go with a very light hand with the Anastasia shadows at first, and then I build up the pigment as needed because they are very pigmented and a little bit goes a long way. And I'm sorry if that little black speck on my left eye is annoying you because it's definitely annoying me, but when I was putting my lashes on, I got a little speck of lash glue on my lower lash line, and I figured I would let it dry first and then try to pick it off. So I really wanted this to be like a bronzy golden smoky eye, but at this point I realized that this was just too cool toned of a palette for me to do that. So I ended up just going with it, and I grabbed the shade Vortex. It's a really dark, deep purple, almost black, and I just used one of the Anastasia brushes that it comes with just to start packing it on my outer V. And the same thing goes for the Huda shadows and any dark shadow. Always start off with a little bit because you could always add more, and it's a lot harder to like take stuff off without ruining your whole entire look than it is to just add a little bit more if you want to darken it up a little bit. So once I built up enough of that shade Onyx, I then went in with that same Peaches and Cream brush and I started blending it out probably about halfway through my crease, and then I started to like fan it out towards the tail of my eyebrow. I wanted to create a nice smoked out cat eye effect, so I just grabbed something with a flat edge and I started to drag out that eyeshadow to kind of create a sharp line, but then I went in and I blended it out so it wasn't so harsh and it kind of just all blended together. And then just to even further blend everything out, I just went in with a fluffy crease brush just to make sure that everything was nice and blended. So I'm just going in with my finger and I'm dipping into the shade Gold Glitch. I find that a finger works best for these like cream shimmer shadows. It just applies it a lot better and you get more color payoff. And then you could always go in with a brush later and smooth out the edges. Oh, the color is absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed. And I ended up not going in with a brush after. I kind of just let it be because I liked how the glitter was kind of scattered all over instead of super precise like a half cut crease. And now moving on to the most dreaded part of my makeup routine, liquid liner. This is where it could either make or break your look, so no pressure. So I've been doing makeup for years now, and I find that if you look down but not close your eye all the way or like pull out the corner of your eye, it's a lot easier to kind of see what you're doing and like see when you end up opening your eye what it's going to look like. And I personally think it's a lot easier to start off by drawing your wing first and then connecting it as opposed to starting off in your tear duct and then trying to like wing it out at the end. I feel like you can kind of like set a guide for yourself. But don't get discouraged if you can't do it perfectly. I mean, I've been doing my makeup for years and it still takes me quite a bit to get a half decent wing on both of my eyes. You just kind of have to get to know your eye shape and keep practicing. So this is where things got a little complicated. I decided I wanted to line my tear duct and kind of make it look more like a sharp cat eye. And I had it nice and perfect in my opinion. And then of course I just have to keep touching it and I can't leave it alone. And I ended up messing it up and I made it too like extended far out. Then the more I kept looking at it, the more I kind of actually loved it. So I ended up trying to do the same thing on my other eye and make my other eye look like the quote unquote mistake that I made, but I ended up liking it and everything worked out. So now I'm just going to be lining my waterline with my Tarte Sex Kitten Cream Gel Liner, nothing crazy here. Now on that same Anastasia brush, I'm taking that shade Onyx and I'm just putting it on my lower lash line, pulling it about halfway through. And then on the inner half of my lower lash line, I'm blending that same shade Crash into the shade Onyx and just blending everything together. And then I'm kind of just fine tuning a little bit, just adding a little extra shadow where I think I need it, a little bit here, a little bit there, just blending it everywhere. Okay, that was stupid, but yeah, you get the point. And then I'm just using my Pacifica Stellar Gaze mascara. I'm sure you've seen people put mascara on millions of times, but one thing I will say is I always put my mascara on before my fake lashes, just because I feel like then your lashes don't stick directly, your false lashes don't stick directly to your real lashes. There's kind of like a barrier between the two, and I always put mascara on my lower lash line. Otherwise it looks too top heavy, it just evens it out a little bit more. And then again, using my Morphe M452 brush, I'm going to grab the shade Galaxy and highlight my brow bone. And I'm literally just going to like tap it in because these colors are so shimmery and so pigmented, you just need a little drop. And for lashes today, I'm using my Remy 778 lashes by Ardell. Honestly, like they're giving the luxury lash companies a run for their money because they're super affordable and they look freaking awesome. And I always try on my lashes and then trim some off just to fit my eye, just because it makes them more custom and comfortable. So I'm just using the Tarteist Pro Lash Glue in black, and I find that black lash glue just helps your lashes blend better. It looks a little bit more natural, it doesn't have as much shine. And I just put a nice thick layer on the lash band and I let it dry for about 30 seconds to a minute before I put it on, so it's not so wet and it doesn't pop off the corners. Thanks so much for being here, guys, and for watching. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, or click my face somewhere. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at LexWestMUA so you don't miss any of the looks that I post. And thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!